In today's live video, I want to talk a little bit about my new cousin, who was born, I think, a few weeks ago, or a month ago probably. Um, her name is Amelia. I know I talked about this a whole lot, but it's true, and I would just want to do like a little deep dive of, you know. So, yeah. So she was born on January 30th. Um, and I'm talking about this because a lot of people just want to know. But yeah. So, yeah, she's the newest cousin in my family, obviously. Um, but yeah, so like she's very cute, and I just like, you know, and she's actually the last grandchild, I think, in my family. And what a lot of people don't know is that the next time we have a kid, it'll either be great grandchild, I think, depending on if I get married or anyone else. But yeah, I'll get married, and I hope so. But I was trying to find a woman I love still, and I know you guys are tired of me saying that, but it's true. Um, so Mom and I, get this, Mom and I were talking about like how I should find people, and so she's like, well, it's a whole thing. I don't even know, but somewhere between those lines. Um, but yeah, so I do have a new cousin in my family, which is exciting. Um, I'm not gonna show you guys a picture of her. It'll be too cute, I think. Yeah, too cute. Um, or whatever. But I don't want you guys to think that she's not cute enough. But you know, I just don't want to show you guys photos that I don't want to show. Okay. Because she's not old enough to be on the internet, and I don't feel like that would be a good thing. Um, but more importantly, because it would be wrong. And yeah, but I want to show you guys some photos from my trip to Dominican, okay? If I can. I'm not, not risking my life for all of it, though. Oh. Never mind. I can't, guys. But I can show you a photo of me, I think, when I was younger, though. Yeah, I can show you guys a few photos that I looked when I was younger. That's me. Look at that. That's me right there. That's me in Washington, D.C. Can you believe that? That's me right there. That's me. Yeah, that's me. And if you guys do not know, that's a statue of George W. Bush. That's not real. Okay? That's a statue of him. I know the real one's still alive. But that's a statue. Okay, it's not, That's actually me, though. And during this time, I think this is like 2015, but during this time, I've always loved presidents. I don't learn about them anymore, though, because I got tired of it after a long time. But I've learned about presidents from like 2015 to like 2017. And during that period, I was learning so much about like what presidents were born on what day and all that. And George W. Bush, born July 6, 1946. Can you believe that? The same day as Sylvester Stallone. It's like I somehow know what it is, kind of. I just have that memory of just, going slow. But yeah, no, that's me right there. That's me. That's me when I was younger. I was like 10 in that photo, I think, or 11. Actually, no, I was almost 11 in that photo, because my birthday was September 23rd. So I think this was September 10th or 17th of 2015. Yeah, that's when that photo was taken. Somewhere between that. But yeah, so that's basically what I look like back in that time. This is what I look like now because I grew so much. Shall. Yeah. I shall look young and I shall look old today. Yeah. I know, it's ridiculous, I know. But basically I used to be in love with presidents, and I used to learn about them when I was younger. I think I was in like 4th grade when I learned about the presidents of the US. Now that I'm like 22 this year, I feel pretty good. But when I look back on this, I feel like, wow, it's been so long. It's been so long ago. I just don't even realize it. But yeah, no, that's actually a really cute photo of me. I never really show these photos, so I'm actually glad I got to at this stage. But it makes me feel good about myself, sort of. I'm just doing that weird thing. I can't recreate that now, I don't think, because it's been so long ago. But that I don't have that jacket anymore, so I don't even know if I would be able to do it in that same expression. Like, yeah, I can't do that. That's not. Yeah, that would be way too difficult to do, though. Yeah, that would be way difficult because I could not even. Yeah, I can't. I'm way too old. I'm literally like way too old to do that now. That's like 2015. Like in that time, I wasn't even like 11 yet. I was though, and on September 23rd. But yeah. It's like you see my background and you're like, how did this happen? But yeah. Oh, thanks for donating, Carlos. Thank you. Yeah, that's me. I know. I know a lot of people are confused by the way I look in that photo, but that's me. That's me. But thank you for donating, Carlos. Yeah, but that's me. That's me. If you guys just love the old photos of me, I think you might love, like, people just think that I look like 11 from Stranger Things because I used to shave my hair when I was younger, and I still do, but I don't shave like all of it off. I just shave like the sides, and this is actually a fade. I got my haircut actually this week, I think. No, it was last week. Yeah, last week. Yeah. So I got this haircut on Saturday last week, and it is so beautiful though. And it, I know I have a fade. I think I have a fade, but yeah. I used to shave my hair, like I said, and I used to look like 11 from Stranger Things. And back in that time period, I had no idea who 11 was because I didn't watch the show in 2016. I watched it in 2017. So that's where that whole thing came from. I started watching it, I think, in 2017, yeah. So it would have been, I think, 9 years this year. Yeah. Oh, thank you for donating 25, Carlos. Yeah. I just love looking back on old photos like this one because this was actually the first time that I've ever been in Washington, D.C. And I haven't been there twice because if I did, I would have looked back on it. But during this time, I mean, I was like 10 years old. And I basically, like, this is a true story. I actually saw, that's a statue. It's not real. That's a statue. But I know that the real George W. Bush is real. I know that that's a statue. So when I went into they had this mall, I think, or like museum, where they had these statues like standing in different spots. And I went after this one because I loved George W. Bush. And I went and I stand like that and I'm like, I can't do the look anymore because yeah, but I've aged, I think, for like years. I've aged like throughout my entire life. So looking back from this, I feel absolutely incredible. like, I feel good about being who I am now that I've aged so much. And I'm trying to look back on this because it's been like 11 years since this photo was taken, which is 2015. And so I wanted to, I think today I'm going to recreate that exact same photo in a new video I was thinking about doing today, because I just love bringing back like old memories that I've always had for like a while. So if you look at this photo, you're like, who is that guy? That's me. So that's me. Yeah, you'll just be amazed on how young I looked. And it's just incredible, you know. And that's what I love about this, is that I can actually just like, I can look at my old self and I'd be like, hey, that's me. You know, that is me. Yeah. But it's just so exciting to actually see myself from after like 11 years, just like looking the exact same as I did back then. Yeah. But just in a different look. I kind of look exactly the same because you can tell that I have the same look. Yeah. I just age so much. That's why my look isn't as good. See? You can just like tell it's not the same look as I had, I think, 11 years ago, but you know. I think my look has changed over time. All right, I'm gonna stop creeping you guys out. But yeah, that's my look. Now that I'm 21, I sure have aged throughout my entire life. And the one thing I love about that is that I haven't ever been to Washington, D.C. before when I was 11. So I went with my grandma and my mom. And what I loved about that was that we went to the Washington Monument, which is my favorite one. We didn't go to the Jefferson Memorial because I didn't think that Jefferson was that cool. But I went to the Lincoln Memorial, which was my favorite one. But yeah, we walked across, or through where this humongous fountain was in Washington, D.C. It was ginormous. The entire, I think it's like a fountain, but it is entirely ginormous. So back in 2015, when I went there, this fountain was humongous. It was like the size, or not the size of a house, but sort of like that. But it was like straight. And there was water in it. And I was like, dang, this fountain's huge. So yeah, I think I still have the photos of when we went to Washington, D.C., but I don't want to show them because I'm really embarrassed showing. I'm already embarrassed showing this one, so I don't know if I should show all of them. But yeah, I think since it's been 10 years, I probably will. But at some point, I'll just forget like everything, which I totally have at this stage. Like, I've forgotten a lot, actually. I've forgotten a lot. I actually forgot that I went here. I forgot that I went to Washington, D.C., actually, because it's been like 11 years, and I still don't realize it to this day. I'm like, how did this happen, you know? But now I remember that I went there. It was just, yeah, I hardly remember anything because it's been so long. But, you know, like when you forget, you're just like, oh yeah, I know, but then when I look back on it, it's not like a big deal. So that's kind of how, yeah. But looking back on it, I just feel great. Like, I've had such a great journey, just like coming out of, you know, Washington, D.C. and learning something new. And I've actually always loved history, so that's my number one thing I like, is when people learn about history and they're just like, yeah, I like that person. or I like this person. They're just so happy about what they do. And to me, it was like trying something that I never did before that I absolutely loved. Like archery was one of them, that which is what I did. I did skiing and I did track and field. And yeah, that was all I could do. But I find archery to be harder because I had to use like a bow and arrow and I always had to fix my stance. So it was like the most difficult thing I could do in my life. But I'd say archery is hard because there was just a lot to go through. I had to learn how to fix my stance. I had to learn how to use a bow. I had to learn how to shoot an arrow. There was just so many things I had to learn before I could actually master the whole thing. But I think when I was like 10, I started learning how to use a bow. And it was the hardest thing, guys. It was the hardest thing to do. But I think since 2017, I quit archery. And the reason for that is because archery got the best of me and then I flipped out. But it wasn't just because of that, though. We were actually moving to California in 2017. Oh, thank you, Peggy, for donating $100. So yeah, like I said, I quit archery because I didn't think it was that good and I had to move on. So archery for me was a big deal breaker because during, I think it was like 2017, we moved to California. And plus my dad was still in the military. So we couldn't stay in Utah for a while. So that's why we haven't been in Utah for so long, is because my dad was in the military still, which he still is. And for the people who used to live in Utah were actually my friends. And my closest, actually. I miss them dearly. Because I loved like everything about Utah. I loved when my brother used to play soccer there. I just love when we used to live in that old house we were in. There was just so many memories I miss from Utah. And I never forgot that. I never forgot about Utah at all. I was upset about it though. I never forgot all about it. Because Utah is just a state that I will never forget because I love Utah. California, maybe. But I think at this point I already forgot about California, sort of. Utah, I never forgot about. But there are some memories I have from Utah that I have forgotten about already. Because Utah, it's been like a long time since I've been there. I don't even know like how long it's been. I think it's been like I remember the last time we were there was in 2017 on March 21st. No. Actually, it was March 20th of 2017, which was the last time we were there. Oh, thank you for the hearts. And so, yeah, 2017 was like my favorite year, I think. Because in that year, there were so many songs that were released. Like No Promises, which is one of my favorite ones. Or It Ain't Me by Kygo and Selena Gomez, which is my favorite. First Time, which was Ellie Goulding and Kygo. And you name it. It's just so many songs. Or One Republic and Kygo, Stranger Things. And Rich Love by Sieb and One Republic. So there's just so many songs that I've loved to listen to, which I never have. And I have listened to Rich Love, actually. It was such a good song. And most of the songs that I listen to are mostly like electronic or, But I love electronic better because you can make the genre real. You can actually like make music with it. Not only that, you can just like you can enjoy like the feel of just it's so good, guys. You know. But yeah, it was the best thing, I think. Oh. But yeah, it's just a memory I will never forget. And I just love when people like my videos and they are incredible. Like, you guys are absolutely incredible. And I love that, you know. You guys have done such a good job liking my videos and subscribing. And it just means so much to me, you know. And I love that about you guys. So thank you so much. Um, and I'm going to go here in a little bit, but thank you guys for donating. And thank you guys so much for the hearts. And thank you so much for uh, texting me in the chat. It's been such a huge memory that I cannot let go of. So thanks. And yeah, and the people who subscribed to my channel already, I already subscribed to you. So yeah. And I will subscribe to the people who haven't subscribed to me after the live is over. But yeah, but thank you guys for joining the live. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for donating, like I said. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Bye.